Okay, guys, today we're going to review Pemdas, which is my favorite. Don't forget that we have a poster on the wall, and it's also in your Google Classroom posters, and so this can remind you of everything that you guys have been taught and how we do order of operations, okay? So Pemdas is just kind of our little catch name that is referring to order of operations. So anytime you guys have math problems, remember, there's a certain operation that they have to be done. There has to be rules, so we all get the same answer. So we have this little PEMDAS. P is parentheses, E is exponents, M is multiplication, D is division, A is addition, and S is subtraction. It has to be done in this order every single time. We have a box around the MD and the AS because these two operations have equal value. They are actually inverse operations of each other. So when you are doing your order of operations left to right, because M comes first does not mean you're going to do the M first. Because these have equal value, you're going to do multiplication and division in order from left to right. Same for addition and subtraction. Sometime you might have subtraction come first, but because these have the same value, you're going to do whichever one comes first, left to right, and that's why they're in a box, to remind yourself, ooh, these have equal value. Oh, these have equal value, okay? So our little phrase for this is, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. You guys probably memorized that in probably, I don't know, third grade. I don't know. I don't really know. Okay, so we're going to do like 3 different problems. So we're going to start with this one. Guys, when you have parentheses, when you write down your equation or your expression, if you will, the first thing you're going to do is you're always going to say, do I have parentheses? Okay. If you have parentheses, this is almost like its own little PEMDAS. Okay. So you're going to start in here, and within your parentheses, you still have to follow this order every time. Okay. So inside your parentheses, we have addition, we have division, and we have addition. So we're looking at PEMDAS and we're saying, okay, which one comes first up here? Addition is right here, division is right here, addition is right here. So obviously division comes first. So when you decide what you're doing first, I've taught you guys to put parentheses around what you're going to do. Okay, that tells your brain, okay, I'm doing this, I'm using these 2 numbers, and you're going to cross that off as you say out loud, 18 divided by 3. Well, 18 divided by 3, if you're not sure, you can sing your 3 song. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. So you know that's 6. So you're going to write a 6 right underneath where you just solved that part of the problem. And then you're just going to copy down every single thing that you have left, that you haven't used. We have not finished what's inside the parentheses, so we're definitely going to bring down our parentheses. We're going to bring down every single thing, again, in our problem that we haven't used yet, and we're looking at a brand new PEMDAS. So we go back to our order of operations and we say, okay, do we have parentheses? Yes, we still do. Well, what's inside our parentheses? Well, we have addition and addition. So obviously that's the same thing. So we're going to go left to right. So we're going to do 12 plus 6. 12 plus 6 is 18. So we're going to write 18. And we're going to copy everything down. We are not done with what's in the parentheses because we still have some computation inside there left. So we're going to bring down everything, super neat. And as you can see, our little PEMDASes should be getting smaller and smaller because you're going to solve one thing at a time. That's the most important thing. You're not going to try to solve more than one thing. You're going to solve one thing each time. You go back to PEMDAS and say, do I still have parentheses? Yes. So what is 18 plus 7? Okay, so 18, if you're using touch math, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 22. Sorry, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So, okay, is that right? 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. That would be 25. Sorry, it's a little early in the morning. So we're going to cross that off and we're going to put 25. Are we done now with everything that's in the parentheses? Yes, we are. So now we're just going to bring down everything else that we have not used yet. And again, we're looking at a brand new PEMDAS, okay? So we have multiplication, subtraction, and multiplication left. Well, multiplication comes first before subtraction. So we're going to, again, working left to right, we're going to do this next. So I'm going to put parentheses around it because this is what my brain is saying. That's what comes next, okay? So we're going to do 12, 24, 36, 48, 60. So we're going to cross that off because we've just solved that. We're going to put 60. We're going to, again, bring down everything else we have left. It's a brand new PEMDAS. We come back up here. We've got subtraction and multiplication. Well, which comes first? Multiplication. So we're going to do this first. Well, what's 25 times 2? Well, 25 doubled is 50. So we're going to put a 50. And again, we bring down everything we haven't used yet. We're to the very last equation. We have 60 minus 50. 60 minus 50 is 10. So you can put parentheses around that, cross it off. When you're finished, your PEMDAS should look like an upside down triangle. And there is your final answer. Okay, so that's one. Let me write a couple more. Okay, we're going to do one that looks a little bit different. Divided by 2 times 7 minus 5 plus 16. Okay, so this looks a little bit different because we've got a division sign involved. Okay, so we kind of have a PEMDAS on the top and we kind of have a PEMDAS on the bottom. Well, we're going to have to solve whatever's on the top first to then divide that. Again, remember, girls and boys, this also means division, okay? So we're going to have to solve what's on the top first, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and write that over here so we can solve that on the board. Okay, so we come to our PEMDAS and we say, okay, do we have any parentheses? No. So do we have any exponents? No. Then multiplication and division comes next. It's in a box. We have division, we have multiplication, we have subtraction and addition. Well, division comes first, but Mrs. Brackett, the M is first, so we should do the multiplication first. No, remember, this is in a box because these two operations have equal value. So because they're in a box, you're going to work them left to right. If the division comes first, when you're working left to right, then the division is what you do first, okay? So again, we're going to put parentheses around what our brain is doing first. We're dividing 14 divided by 2. We're going to cross that off, and we're going to put a 7. And we're going to bring down everything, again, that we have not used yet. So this is our second PEMDAS. We come back here. We have multiplication, we have subtraction, and addition. Well, what comes first? Well, multiplication does. So we're going to put parentheses around what we're doing again. 7 times 7. 7, 14, 21, 28, and 30, 5, 42, 49. So this is 49. So we have 49 minus 5 plus 16. We come back to PEMDAS. We have subtraction and addition. Well, they're in a box. Again, showing us they have equal value. So it doesn't matter that subtraction comes first, but the S is last because we do these in order from left to right. So we're actually going to do this first. So 49 minus 5 is going to be 44. And then we have plus 16 left. Okay, so we can come over here and we can do our 44 plus 16. 6 plus 4 is 10, carry the 1. 4 plus 1 plus 1 is 6. So that means our top PEMDAS, our top expression equaled 60. Okay, so I'm going to erase this. And I'm going to cross this off because we've solved that. That equaled 60, but we still have divided by 3. Okay, so now we're solving 60 divided by 3. So if we do 60 divided by 3, 3 goes into 6 2 times. That equals 6. We bring down our 0, and 3 goes into 0, no times. And so 20 is our final answer for our PEMDAS that we just solved. Okay, let's do one more. We're going to put some decimals in this one since in 5th grade, most everything we do ends up having decimals in it. I'm also going to put some brackets. Lift this up so I can see it. Okay, so when we have brackets, brackets are just another form of parentheses, okay? So they're a little bit higher up. So when you have both, you're going to look at your brackets first, okay? So inside of our brackets, we have a number and we also have parentheses. But we're always going to come back to our PEMDAS, okay? We're going to ask, do we have parentheses? Well, yes. Inside of our brackets, we also have a set of parentheses, and we have to do parentheses first. So this is what we're going to solve first. So we have 9.4 plus, now what's going to be really important here, guys, what do we have to do with decimals when we're adding them? Yes, we have to line them up, okay? So make sure that you line up your decimals. 4 plus 6 is 10. Carry the 1. 9 plus 1 is 10. And I'm going to bring my decimal straight down. So the answer to this right here, this is what we just did, is the whole number 10, okay? We are not finished with what's inside of our brackets. We are done with what's inside of our parentheses, so we don't need to bring those down. But we're going to bring down our brackets because, again, that's another form of parentheses, and we're not finished with that yet, okay? So we're going to go ahead and bring down everything we haven't used. We go back to our PEMDAS. Do we have parentheses? Well, yes, essentially we do because we have brackets. So inside our brackets, we have 10 minus 2, and 10 minus 2 is 8. We bring down everything that we have left, and now we have 1 6/10 divided by 8. Now, this looks like, if you weren't paying attention, you're going to think it's 8 divided by 1.6 because you know that 8 is a bigger number. But that's not following the order of operations. This says 1 6/10 divided by 8. And that's how we would write it, and that's how we would solve it. So, again, going back to our rules when we're dividing by decimals, what's the first thing that we're going to do? We're going to float the bobber. We're going to take this decimal and we're going to put it in our quotient before we even start. And then we're looking at, does 8 go into 1? No. Does 8 go into 16? Yes. 8/16, it goes in twice. Well, where am I going to put that 2? Am I going to put it here? Does 8 go into 1 2 times? No. Does 8 go into 16 2 times? Yes. So my 2 goes above the 6. So I've solved this now, and my final answer is 2/10. If I'm going to write this as a fraction, I'm going to write it 2/10. If I'm going to reduce that to lowest terms, I'm going to use my super one of 2 over 2, and 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 10 divided by 2 is 5, okay? So the decimal for 1/5 and for 2/10 is 0.2. Okay.